Restaurants across the U.S. turned parking lots into drive-in movie theaters and find huge success. We're in awe on how quickly we sold out tickets. Elias Marat's The Mind Unleashed reports, the coronavirus pandemic has put most of our social lives on hold or reducing it to a pale shadow of what it was, and for many of us, there is a definite limit to how much fun we can inject into our quarantine lifestyles through games and binge watching Netflix. But what if it was possible to enjoy a good date with a loved one while still respecting the physical distancing guidelines put in place to curb the spread of COVID-19? With precisely that solution in mind, and amid a brutal economic turndown, primarily slamming small businesses, restaurants across the United States have devised a novel solution that draws on American nostalgia, brings in paying clientele who also offering a safe option for while also offering a safe option for entertaining crowds. Since social distancing rules began in March, restaurants across America have begun turning their parking lots into drive-in cinemas, offering an opportunity to stir crazy couples and families craving a social outing such as a dinner and a movie. People's Restaurant and Lodge in Corpus Christi, Texas, is a popular eatery that's been revenue dry since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus. But when it announced April 18 that it would begin screening films in its parking lot, beginning with Toy Story 4, customers old and new quickly flocked back to snatch up the tickets. Co-owner Joe Gonzalez told Corpus Christi Caller Times, "We're in awe on how quickly we sold out tickets this week. The community's response to our drive-in has really made a huge impact for us. The idea was the result of family brainstorming as well as a trend that has swept the U.S. and other countries in recent months." Gonzalez said, "We were having a hard time trying to stay afloat through carry-out and delivery, and it was costing us more money to stay open that way. But when one of my daughters came up with a drive-in idea, our whole family was on board and went straight to work to make this a reality." Up north in Mingus, Texas, another restaurant also decided last month that it would be a good idea to revive drive-in theaters. In a Facebook post, Clint Gibson, the owner of BJ's Restaurant and Bar, announced that his restaurant would start films beginning with baseball classic The Sand Lot, while also offering old-school car-side service. Gibson wrote, "When the world is shutting down, we have to go back to our roots for entertainment." Over the past weekend, BJ's also screened Tombstone and Dirty Dancing, charging $10 per vehicle while urging patrons to show up early to reserve a highly sought-after spot. Meanwhile, in Arizona, Food and Wine reports that the Ajo Al's group of Mexican restaurants set up inflatable screens in the parking lots of its various in order to screen the beloved Pixar film Coco, to suggest while they park their cars 6 feet apart and enjoy some takeout chips and queso, brisket tacos, and bean dip. And in Omaha, Nebraska, Tex-Mex Cantina, the Cornered Kick, brought about 35 vehicles to their parking lot when they screened the classic comedy The Three Amigos on 3 different screens across the side of the building. However, the idea of pop-up drive-in theaters has had its challenges, with some like V Pizza in North Carolina then being shut down for violating stay-at-home orders, while others have faced legal problems from movie studios due to licensing issues. As Food and Wine notes, drive-in theaters first began operating in 1933, long before the polio vaccine was developed. Prior to the widespread introduction of the vaccine, drive-ins were frequently advertised to parents, quote, who feared to expose their children or themselves to local epidemics, unquote, and as a place where one could, quote, be flu and polio protected, unquote. Drive-ins had their heyday roughly up until the 1960s, but a number of different factors, including the availability of color TV, VCRs, and video rental shops, contributed to their decline. But for Joe Gonzalez in Corpus Christi, the revival of drive-in theaters is a matter of not just entertaining or business, but hope. He said, "We really appreciate the backing we're getting from the public right now. This drive-in gives us the opportunity to give back to our community and help us to stay open, and really makes us feel things can really go back to normal again." This is by Elias Marat on The Mind Unleashed. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.